Welcome to the name game. Workout number 93 is Alter Ego. When the clock starts, you'll immediately begin part 1, Bruce Banner. 30, 20, 10 row calories and dumbbell snatches. For the females, it will be 20, 15, 10 for the calories and 35 pounds for the dumbbell. For the males, it'll be a 50-pound dumbbell. At 10 minutes on the clock, you'll begin part 2, the Hulk. 30, 20, 10 AirBike Calories, and 3, 2, 1 snatches at 205 for males, 145 for females. Once again, the calories for females will be 25, 15, 10. Your score will be the combined time from both parts of the workout.
First impression. So this is going to be our workout at camp. So that's impression number 1. So campers, be ready. So you kind of have interval based again to a degree. So the first one with the row calories and the dumbbell snatch, the bulk of this workout time wise is probably lost or won on the rower, right? You might have a shorter athlete that'll gain ground on the dumbbell snatches, but if you're not super powerful, the row is just going to take you longer. And so I said, we kind of talked about it, that like time will vary probably anywhere from 5 to 6, maybe 7 if you're super slow, maybe 4 in the 4 range if you're super powerful and efficient in dumbbell snatches. So most likely somewhere in the 1-to-1 range, give or take a minute or two.
That is rest before the next part.
Correct. And so you'll rest, and then you have the assault bike and the snatch. And the snatch is supposed to be a moderate to moderately heavy weight. And so again, if you're a bigger, more powerful athlete, you could go pretty fast in that one as well.
Yep.
Whereas if you're a smaller athlete and you're not doing the 205 and 145 prescription because your 88% is lighter than that, or maybe that is 85, 88%, and you have to squat snatch it, right? Like all of a sudden this workout, that section becomes much longer.
Yeah. So my initial thoughts for the first part were just kind of like exactly what you said. Like if you're someone who, where I would say like most people should look at it where it's like dumbbell snatches are unbroken and they kind of take the time that they take. I don't really want to adjust the cycle speed on those a whole lot. And then it's like with whatever you have left is what you're going to put into the rower. If you're someone who's pretty fit, the dumbbell snatches aren't going to take a ton out of you. You can row pretty hard. If you're someone who is still working on those movements, like your dumbbell snatches aren't super efficient or 50 pounds is heavy for you. In order to do that unbroken, you're going to have to spend a little bit of time also from like recovery mode or like just not getting more tired on the rower.
Yeah.
Then you just got to row at a slightly lower pace. So again, I think it's totally possible that we have girls rowing at 1,400 cals an hour and guys, approaching 2,000 cals an hour in this workout. But I don't think a lot of people are going to be there, right? It just kind of depends. So again, somewhere around 1-to-1 work rest before the second part. And then in my mind, that's sort of like a battery type effort, something that's heavy, but repeatable. And it really comes down, I think, is like your confidence on the snatch. And also like if you miss or not, like if you've got capacity, you're pretty strong and you don't miss, you're going to have probably a good time. And if you don't, you won't.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like if you're someone who looks at 205, even if you're not like a crazy strong guy who looks at 205 and is like, oh, I'm going to touch and go those reps, right? But you can cycle singles power snatches relatively quick, like 1 rep every 10 seconds. Like you're going to have a quick time in that workout. Whereas if you're someone, like I said, who's like, even if those weights, the 205, 145 are ones you could hit, but you're like, man, like I got to squat snatch those, right? All of a sudden the workout is immensely longer than the first person we talked about.
1 or 2 misses is going to be super costly because when you miss, not only do you take you took the energy that it took to lift the bar, but then it's like you also are forced to sit around and wait long enough where you're confident that you can make your next rep. Right. So it just becomes super tough.
Yeah. And so I think knowing yourself and knowing, okay, this is where I'm at. It's okay. This is where I'm at, right? Nothing's changing tomorrow. So this is where I'm at. So this is how I have to approach this workout.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say is like, you can't completely think about these as 2 separate workouts because you're not going to be fully recovered for the second part.
Right.
Again, we see a lot of, I don't necessarily call this an open style workout because we've never seen air bike. But like I think something like this is very, like, if you can do well in the second part, you're probably going to be prepared for something like the open, because you don't have a long turnaround time and you have to lift heavy with a lot of fatigue in the system, which is a very important skill to have.
Sure. Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see people take this on at camp. I think it'll be fun running heats of people through these two.
Heck yeah, man. Last camp we had, the last workout, had a ton of energy. People were super stoked, even though it was the last session of day 2. And so I expect it to be relatively similar. And, you know, I'd love to see the spectrum, meaning how fast somebody can go in this workout and people getting juiced up for that.
Yeah.
But I'd also love to see someone who has to like that bar is super heavy, people getting juiced up to be like, all right, let's hit this last lift. You know, I think it'll be a good time.
Yeah. The fight for sure.
Yep.
I think that's a little, like, each person has their own like version of what that is in a workout like this. Like, it could be that you don't row super hard on the first part and you only have 3 minutes of rest before part 2. And then you have a super heavy barbell that you got to navigate. And that could be your fight. For somebody else, it's just like, I'm going to go out super aggressive on the first part because I know I can row super hard, and I'll just going to see if I can recover for the second part and hang on to that bar.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'm super excited for it too. And, you know, maybe you'll jump into the workout completely fresh, let everybody else take on the first 3 sessions. And then Chris comes in to
they'll probably toast me in this one anyways.
And lastly, we encourage as many people as possible to jump in with you and do these workouts. So you've got people who want to throw down with you, by all means, encourage them to do that. However, we want everyone to submit their scores, right? So where you're going to go to is zorfitness.com. You'll hit on menu, drop down from the protocol. You'll hit that tab called name game. And then you'll go down to the first workout, which should be the newest one. And you're going to click that little green arrow. There you'll be able to enter your name, as long also with the workout name. That's important because it tags it so it doesn't get lost in the forum later on. But then you obviously are going to put your score or your time, and then you'll submit it. If you click on that little number next to it, you're going to see all the other comments, right? You might actually not be able to view them all. So if you hit view all comments, that's going to take you down sort of a leaderboard where you get to compare scores. And then also your coach gets to help determine where you stack up versus other competitors to be able to determine your individual weaknesses. It's going to be super helpful for us, pretty exciting and engaging for you guys. And if you're someone who's watching this, you're not a Zor Fitness athlete yet, I'll link to it below, but you can either check out the protocol or one-on-one coaching, and we'll reach out, see if you're a good fit. And for everyone, best of luck on the workout.